I was never happy, Phil. I was never happy. I kept having necessary plastic surgeries in order to find myself.
Fame comes with a price, and for some celebrities, that price is paid on the surgeon's table. From botched facelifts to unrecognizable transformations, these 20 shocking cases show how the pursuit of perfection can go horribly wrong. Which one do you think is the most extreme? Watch closely, because some of these faces made headlines worldwide for all the wrong reasons. Farah Abraham. Farah Abraham, best known from MTV's Teen Mom, has been outspoken about her experiences with plastic surgery, especially when procedures went wrong.
Teen Mom star Farah Abraham recently made headlines when pics of her swollen lip went very viral.
She has publicly detailed botched lip augmentation that led to severe swelling and allergic reactions. Have you seen her infamous swollen lip photos? They sparked a massive online discussion. She sought corrective work from well-known surgeons Dr. Terry Dubrow and Dr. Paul Nassif, featured on Botched. Her cosmetic history includes chin implants, multiple fillers, and preventative treatments like Morpheus 8. Abraham has also undergone filler dissolving, openly criticizing a practitioner for failing to achieve facial symmetry. Teen Mom, which premiered in 2009, documented the lives of young mothers balancing school, relationships, and parenting. It raised awareness about teen pregnancy, contraception, and family issues, but also subjected its cast to intense public scrutiny. Farah, one of the original participants, transitioned into being a TV personality, model, and later an adult film actress. Over the years, she has battled body image issues, leading to multiple cosmetic procedures. She has admitted these choices were influenced by fame, public criticism, and her own insecurities. Despite her openness about struggles with self-esteem, Farah remains a frequent target of media backlash, accused of promoting unrealistic beauty standards. But here's the irony. Her insecurities came from those same impossible beauty standards. Donatella Versace. Donatella Versace, one of the most recognized names in fashion, and the current head of the House of Versace. But beyond her influence in the fashion industry, Donatella is also known for her drastically altered appearance, the result of multiple cosmetic procedures. After taking over the luxury brand following her brother Gianni Versace's death, Donatella's look began to change noticeably. According to Dr. Bruce Katz from the Juva Skin and Laser Center, her cheeks and lips appear to have been augmented with fillers, giving them a fuller and more pronounced look. He also observed that her eyelids appear droopy, which he suspects may be due to poorly administered Botox, causing her forehead and eyelids to sag further. Another plastic surgery expert suggests that Donatella has undergone a facelift, overinflation of the cheeks and lips, and even a lifted hairline. These observations point to a series of surgical and non-surgical enhancements carried out over the years. In a 2010 interview, Donatella openly admitted that she was not a believer in the natural look, a statement many took as a subtle confirmation of her cosmetic interventions. She famously remarked, "What is natural? I do not believe in totally natural for women. For me, natural has something to do with vegetables." This candid approach makes her case one of the most openly discussed in celebrity plastic surgery. But here's the question for you. Do you think maintaining a public image in the fashion world justifies such extensive procedures? Or should natural aging be embraced, even in an industry built on appearance? Donatella's transformation remains a talking point, not just for what it says about beauty standards in high fashion, but also about the risks of pushing cosmetic enhancements too far. Renee Tally. In 2010, Renee Tally received silicone injections to enhance her buttocks. What seemed like a simple cosmetic boost quickly turned into a serious health crisis. She developed severe autoimmune problems, forcing her to remove the silicone. To restore fullness, she chose butt implants, but ignored her surgeon's full recovery timeline. Resuming normal activities too early caused the implants to flip and shift inside her body. Her doctor advised immediate correction, but Tally instead replaced them with new implants. The results were disappointing, adding further physical and emotional strain. The complications deeply impacted her self-esteem and mental health, showing the lasting consequences of rushing recovery. Tally later appeared on the TV show Botched to repair the damage and openly share her story. She hopes her experience warns others about the real risks of cosmetic surgery, especially when medical guidance is ignored. Think about it. Would you risk permanent damage for short-term beauty? How much trust would you place in a quick fix over proper healing? Tally's case is a cautionary reminder. In cosmetic surgery, one wrong choice or one ignored instruction can change everything. Carol Bryan. At age 47, Carol Bryan decided to try dermal filler injections in 2009 to smooth wrinkles and maintain a youthful look. The procedure, however, went horribly wrong. Without her knowledge, a mixture of 2 different fillers, including silicone, was injected into her face. The results were devastating. Her forehead and cheeks became severely swollen and distorted. Multiple medical interventions failed to reverse the damage. The confident woman she once was now felt trapped in an unrecognizable face. Only her daughter saw the gradual, painful transformation. By 2013, desperate for improvement, Carol consulted a craniofacial expert. Surgery was meant to restore some normal appearance, but instead caused permanent nerve damage. She lost sight in one eye. Subsequent attempts to repair the damage included several surgeries, skin grafts, and even a partial facial transplant. None could fully restore her appearance or erase the emotional toll. Now 58, Carol struggles with deep self-consciousness and grief over the life she once envisioned. Her case highlights an alarming truth. Dermal fillers are not risk-free. Complications can include infection, nerve injury, blindness, and irreversible facial changes. In Carol's case, the use of silicone, a substance not approved for cosmetic facial injections in many countries, amplified the risks. Simon Cowell. Simon Cowell, once known for his sharp suits and even sharper remarks on American Idol and X Factor, has also become infamous for his dramatic transformation through cosmetic procedures. Over the years, his face has changed so drastically that fans often struggle to recognize the man who once prided himself on his natural charm. Cowell openly admitted to using Botox, but it didn't stop there. He reportedly turned to fillers and other invasive treatments in an effort to stay youthful. The result, however, has been far from flattering. Instead of maintaining a subtle refresh, the procedures left him with a stretched, almost wax-like appearance. His cheeks appeared unnaturally plumped, his skin overly tight, and his once expressive features nearly frozen. Even Cowell himself later confessed that he may have gone a bit too far with the injectables, acknowledging that his face no longer looked real. Critics and fans alike have pointed out that the pursuit of eternal youth ironically made him look older and less approachable. Simon has since scaled back on the fillers, claiming he now relies more on a healthy lifestyle. But the damage to his iconic look was already done. His face serves as a cautionary tale of how Hollywood's obsession with perfection can backfire spectacularly. Lacy Wildd. Lacy Willd is a reality TV star, model, and B-movie actress known for taking body modification to extreme levels. Her most famous transformation centers around her breasts.
You really want your breasts bigger?
Which have undergone numerous surgeries. Over the years, she has spent more than $250,000 on breast augmentations alone. She started with an A cup size and eventually reached an extraordinary LLL cup size. Now, she plans to go even further, aiming for a Q cup. To physically support the weight of her enlarged breasts, Wilde underwent a procedure where pigskin was surgically implanted into her body. This was intended to give her chest the necessary structural support. However, the size comes with serious concerns. Her children have expressed worries about possible health complications and the risk of bullying. Her upcoming procedure is even more shocking. She intends to receive implants weighing 42 pounds in total. The medical community has raised questions about what kind of long-term support or medical supervision such implants will require. Wildd insists her decision is not about chasing fame. Instead, she claims it is about pursuing her personal vision, a lifelong dream of becoming the ultimate Barbie.
My breast size rank in the top 20 in the world right now.
This dream has already led her to undergo 36 cosmetic surgeries in total, covering a range of enhancements beyond her breasts. Jocelyn Wildenstein. Jocelyn Wildenstein became one of the most infamous figures in the history of cosmetic surgery, spending over $4 million on procedures.
The New York socialite, known as the Catwoman, has spent a fortune on facelifts over the years.
In the 1970s, she married Alec Wildenstein, a wealthy art dealer, and moved to New York City. Their marriage was troubled, and eventually, Jocelyn discovered Alec was having an affair. Instead of divorcing immediately, she decided to try to win him back through cosmetic enhancements. It began with small procedures, but soon escalated into a long series of surgeries. Over the years, she underwent multiple facelifts, brow lifts, cheek implants, chin augmentations, and lip augmentations. She also had extensive work done around her eyes, along with multiple full-body procedures aimed at reshaping her figure and reducing weight. The total cost of these surgeries surpassed $4 million, a staggering figure even among celebrities. But the results were extreme. Her facial features became dramatically altered, earning her nicknames in the media such as the Bride of Wildenstein and the Catwoman because of her feline-like appearance. In 1999, after years of tension, Jocelyn and Alec divorced. Despite the public scrutiny and the permanent changes to her face and body, Jocelyn has remained unapologetic about her decisions. She has stated that she does not regret the transformation she underwent, even though they became the defining factor of her public image. Mickey Rourke. Mickey Rourke was once one of Hollywood's most recognizable faces. He made his debut in Steven Spielberg's 1941 and rose to fame after his performance in the 1981 film Body Heat. One unique detail often noticed by fans was that Rourke rarely smiled with his teeth showing. This was because he had lost several teeth at a young age, leading him to only grin with closed lips. In the early 1990s, Rourke made a surprising career move. At the peak of his acting success, he walked away from Hollywood to pursue professional boxing. This decision brought him victories in the ring, but also came with severe physical consequences. Over the course of his boxing career, Rourke sustained multiple serious injuries. Reports indicate he suffered several broken noses, toe and rib fractures, a compressed cheekbone, a split tongue, and even short-term memory loss. These injuries took a visible toll on his face. To repair the damage, Rourke underwent numerous reconstructive surgeries. However, the results were far from his original appearance. By the time he returned to acting, his facial structure had changed dramatically, sparking public discussion about his transformation. In a 2009 interview, Rourke addressed the topic directly. He revealed that he had undergone 5 separate operations on his nose and 1 on his cheekbone. He also admitted to a critical mistake, choosing the wrong surgeon, which made the damage worse instead of better. Today, Mickey Rourke's story is a striking example of how a career shift can have lasting physical effects. Courteney Cox. Courteney Cox, known worldwide for playing Monica Geller on the hit sitcom Friends,
Oh, wait, and I got a beeper.
has openly talked about her past use of facial fillers and her regret over it. She admitted feeling pressured to maintain a youthful look in an industry obsessed with appearances. Over time, she says, she went too far with cosmetic procedures. Eventually, she had the fillers dissolved, acknowledging she messed up a lot, and now chooses a more natural approach, embracing the reality of aging. Cox's career spans decades. Beyond Friends, she starred in the Scream film franchise and appeared in multiple TV series. Her sharp comedic timing and ability to create relatable characters earned her both critical acclaim and a loyal fan base. But Despite her professional achievements, public attention often shifted to her appearance. Here's where it gets complicated. Hollywood and the media operate under a double standard. If you get cosmetic work, you're criticized for not being natural. If you don't, your wrinkles and signs of aging become tabloid material. In Cox's case, paparazzi photos fueled headlines that speculated on her looks, regardless of what she did. Think about it. If you were in her position, would you make the same choices? What would you do if every facial line were dissected online? Cox's story reveals a broader truth about celebrity culture. The pressure to look a certain way can be relentless, and the judgment is constant. Even for someone with a decades-long career and multiple accolades, the spotlight often focuses on the most superficial details. Her decision to dissolve the fillers and speak openly about the experience has sparked conversations about aging, beauty standards, and the impossible expectations placed on public figures. Pete Burns. Pete Burns, the English singer, songwriter, and television personality, was known for his striking fashion choices and distinctive voice. But behind his public image was a dangerous obsession with plastic surgery that would eventually take his life. Burns underwent an estimated 300 cosmetic procedures during his lifetime.
Pete joins us now along with the Guinness World Record holder for having the most plastic surgery procedures.
His first was a nose job, done after he broke his nose. What began as a single corrective surgery quickly became an addiction. Viewers, imagine this. One of his doctors once told him he had less than a 2% chance of survival after a lip filler injection spread through his body. Would you continue after hearing that? Burns did. In a later interview, he described a horrifying incident. A pint and a half of yellow, steaming fluid drained from his lips following a botched operation. The damage was so severe that doctors nearly amputated his lips to save him. But by then, it was too late. The filler had already migrated not just to his cheeks, but to his Adam's apple and even behind his eyes. The complications didn't stop there. Burns developed blood clots and pulmonary embolisms in multiple parts of his body, including his legs, heart, and lungs. Despite repeated medical interventions, his health continued to decline. In 2016, Pete Burns suffered a massive cardiac arrest, bringing an end to his troubled journey with cosmetic surgery. His story is a stark warning. Even someone with fame and resources is not immune to the life-threatening consequences of excessive cosmetic procedures. Melissa Rivers. Melissa Rivers filed a malpractice lawsuit against Yorkville Endoscopy.
Health department investigators spoke to medical staff at Yorkville Endoscopy,
the New York City clinic where her mother, Joan Rivers, underwent a minor throat procedure that led to her death in 2014 at the age of 81.
The entertainment world, Joan Rivers, one of the giants of American comedy, has died in New York.
Joan Rivers was more than a patient. She was an American comedian, actress, and television host who broke into the male-dominated comedy scene in the 1960s.
Did you ever date a dentist? You have champagne, you drink. I was dating a proctologist.
Over 5 decades, she built a career in stand-up, acting, writing, and hosting, becoming famous for her red carpet question, "Who are you wearing?" Rivers was equally known for her openness about plastic surgery. Beginning in the 1960s, she underwent facelifts, eye lifts, nose jobs, and more, often joking about them in her acts. But behind the humor, reports suggest her fixation on cosmetic procedures stemmed partly from her mother's criticism of her looks. Recovery, she admitted, was painful and difficult. Yet, unlike many celebrities, she refused to hide her surgeries, arguing that concealing them created impossible beauty standards. She believed honesty was essential in a beauty-obsessed culture. Vanilla Chamu. Vanilla Chamu is a Japanese model who became widely known for undergoing extreme plastic surgery to look like a French doll. She reportedly spent over $100,000 on more than 30 cosmetic procedures in pursuit of her goal. Her transformation began in her teenage years with the aim of achieving a Western-style appearance. Her surgeries included skin bleaching, breast enlargement, chin reduction, and multiple lip and nose procedures. She also underwent double eyelid surgery, a common cosmetic procedure in Japan for those seeking a more Western look. However, not all of her operations were successful. One of her nose jobs resulted in a nose that appeared disproportionately small for her face, altering her overall facial balance. Lip surgery also created unintended results, leaving her with what has been described as a duck-like appearance. Despite the risks, Vanilla continued with her transformation until her body began to show serious signs of strain. The large number of procedures eventually led to severe health complications, and she was hospitalized. It is unclear if all the damage was ever fully corrected. Vanilla underwent some reconstructive surgeries to address issues caused by earlier operations, but the success of these corrective measures remains uncertain. Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson was one of the most influential figures in music history, known worldwide for his voice, dance moves, and style. But his appearance changed dramatically over the years, and it became one of the most talked about topics in pop culture. Jackson admitted to undergoing plastic surgery, but the actual number of procedures remains unknown.
Go out in public covered with a mask to hide their plastic surgery.
Experts have pointed to multiple rhinoplasties, nose surgeries, which significantly altered his facial structure. Viewers, take a moment to compare early photos from the late 1970s to his later public appearances in the 2000s. The difference is striking.
And I had pimples so badly, and it made me so shy. I used to not look at myself. I'd wash my face in the dark.
His skin also became lighter over time. Jackson stated that he had vitiligo, a condition that causes patches of skin to lose pigment. However, reports indicate he also underwent skin lightening treatments, possibly to even out his complexion. These changes sparked intense speculation in the media, with many questioning whether he had gone too far in altering his looks. Surgical complications reportedly left Jackson with visible scarring and a weakened nasal structure, sometimes requiring medical devices or tape to support his nose. His physical transformation wasn't just a cosmetic issue, it affected his health. Chronic pain became a recurring problem, and he was said to rely heavily on prescription painkillers. Psychological effects also played a role. Jackson was believed to suffer from body dysmorphic disorder, a mental health condition where individuals obsess over perceived flaws in their appearance. Despite undergoing corrective surgeries, his facial structure continued to change, often leading him to cover his face with masks or scarves in public. By the end of his life, Michael Jackson's physical transformation had become as famous as his music, raising questions about the pressures of fame, the limits of cosmetic surgery, and the lasting impact on health. Hang Mioku. Meet Hang Mioku, a former South Korean model whose pursuit of smoother, softer skin turned into a dangerous obsession. She underwent her first plastic surgery at age 28, followed by numerous treatments in Japan. Over time, her addiction to cosmetic procedures intensified. Doctors began to warn her about the risks, but she ignored their advice. Eventually, surgeons refused to operate on her, fearing for her safety. Instead of stopping, Hang took matters into her own hands. She purchased a bottle of silicone and a syringe to perform self-injections. When the silicone ran out, she resorted to injecting cooking oil into her face. Think about that for a second. Injecting cooking oil directly into the skin. The results were devastating. Her face became severely swollen, scarred, and permanently disfigured. Her extreme transformation drew public attention. Viewers were shocked by her condition and began donating money for her treatment. Surgeons performed 10 corrective operations. In total, they removed 60 grams of silicone oil and other substances from her face.
With doctors removing over 60 grams of excess skin from her cheeks and neck,
along with 200 grams from her neck. While the surgeries reduced some of the swelling and reshaped parts of her face and neck, she remains visibly disfigured to this day. Her story stands as a factual and cautionary example of how far cosmetic procedure addiction can go when boundaries are crossed. Herbert Chavez. Herbert Chavez, a man from the Philippines, spent 17 years trying to transform himself into his childhood hero, Superman.
I'm Herbert Chavez. I'm the Philippine Superman, Guinness World Record holder. I started as a designer.
Over this period, he underwent 20 separate cosmetic procedures. In total, he spent more than $8,000 on surgeries that included multiple nose jobs, liposuction, skin whitening, and even chest fillers to appear more muscular. Think about this. Would you undergo 20 surgeries just to look like a fictional character? Chavez did. His chest fillers were not medically approved, and this decision changed his life in a dangerous way. The substances injected into his body were toxic, and soon after, he began experiencing chest pains and difficulty breathing. Doctors confirmed that he had been injected with a non-medical grade filler. They advised him to have it removed immediately, warning about the long-term damage. Chavez refused. Over time, the toxic material caused irreversible harm. His skin began to sag, permanent scars formed, and his chest was left disfigured. Even with the risks made clear, he chose to keep the injections. This decision shocked many and drew heavy criticism from both medical professionals and the public. While Chavez initially gained fame in the media for his Superman transformation, his situation became a stark warning about the dangers of extreme cosmetic modification. Cosmetic surgery carries risks even when done under proper medical supervision. In Chavez's case, the use of unsafe substances magnified those risks, leading to permanent health and appearance issues. Monique Allen Minica. Monique Allen Minica, a woman whose extreme journey with plastic surgery has shocked many. Born male, Monique began altering her body at the age of 22. Since then, she has undergone around 100 unregulated plastic surgeries and over 200 procedures in total.
People have been talking about how she's had over 200 plastic surgeries.
Yes, you heard that right. Over 200 procedures. Her transformation came at a high cost, physically, financially, and medically. She spent more than $100,000 chasing her ideal look, but instead of achieving satisfaction, she ended up with severe health complications. Doctors had to remove over 12 liters of plastic from her body due to the damage it caused. Her list of surgeries is staggering: 9 breast augmentations, 10 hip surgeries, and countless lip injections, alongside many other enhancements. She admits she lost count of the total number of times she went under the knife. Monique describes her fixation as an addiction, a constant urge to fix something she never truly felt was perfect. But here's the turning point. Health problems began to take over. The very surgeries meant to enhance her appearance left her disfigured and disabled. Now, Monique openly regrets how far she pushed her body. She says her story is not about glamorizing plastic surgery, but about showing its darker side. She has stepped forward to warn others, urging anyone considering cosmetic procedures to carefully weigh the risks against the potential benefits. Her message is clear. Once you cross a certain line, there may be no going back. Bruce Jenner. In 1976, Bruce Jenner won the gold medal in the men's decathlon at the Summer Olympics in Montreal, Canada, setting a new world record. This victory made Jenner a national hero and one of the most celebrated athletes of the decade. Unlike most Olympic athletes of that era, Jenner stepped directly into the entertainment spotlight, becoming a TV personality by the 1980s. Have you ever wondered how an Olympic champion goes from the track to Hollywood? Jenner's life took another turn when plastic surgery entered the picture, a decision many celebrities have made under the pressures of fame. In 2015, Jenner made global headlines by publicly coming out as transgender and transitioning to Caitlyn Jenner.
Caitlyn Jenner, draped in a glamorous white dress, having recently become perhaps the most famous face in the transgender community.
This announcement ignited worldwide conversations about gender identity and LGBTQ rights. Caitlyn later starred in the reality series I Am Kate. offering viewers an inside look at her life after transition and her advocacy for transgender visibility. Her public journey has positioned her as one of the most recognized transgender figures in the world. Jackie Stallone. Jackie Stallone, mother of actor Sylvester Stallone, openly criticized her own experiences with plastic surgery, admitting she regrets many of the procedures.
I'm Jocelyn Stallone, believe it or not. I just want to thank my good friend, Dr. Rick.
She claimed the results made her look like a chipmunk with a mouthful of nuts. Over the years, she underwent numerous cosmetic enhancements, including 3 chemical peels and around 50 injections. One procedure she specifically blamed was Juvederm, a dermal filler she said gave her the appearance of having too much in her mouth. Interestingly, Jackie refused Botox, stating she didn't need it because her forehead was naturally wrinkle-free due to genetics. Despite living in Santa Monica, she avoided getting surgery in Beverly Hills, saying she didn't trust the doctors there and believed many of the expensive procedures in that area were of poor quality. Amanda Lepore. Amanda Lepore is a transgender model, performer, and recording artist known for her extensive plastic surgery history. She had her first procedure, a nose job, at just 15 years old. During her senior year of high school, she underwent gender confirmation surgery. Over the years, Amanda has had numerous surgeries on her face, body, and other areas. Not all of these procedures went as planned. Amanda revealed she received silicone injections in her body, which led to hardening and deformities. In 2009, she underwent surgery to remove some of the silicone, improving her condition, but permanent scarring and deformities remain. Her modifications didn't stop there. Amanda has also had extreme surgeries, such as having several ribs removed to achieve a thinner waist. These procedures have caused her significant physical pain and emotional challenges. Despite these complications, she remains a public advocate for plastic surgery and body modification. Pamela Anderson. Pamela Anderson is a Canadian-American actress, model, and activist best known for playing C.J. Parker on Baywatch.
You can't bust me for that. I love you.
One of the most watched TV shows in the world during the 1990s. Her posters were on the walls of millions of teenagers worldwide. But behind the image, Anderson faced intense pressure to maintain a perfect look. She has openly admitted to trying Botox, fillers, and breast implants in the past, as reported by W Magazine and Time Magazine. Today, Anderson says she no longer uses Botox or fillers and has expressed regret over getting implants, emphasizing that she now wants to age naturally. She has spoken candidly about how societal expectations affected her self-esteem, sparking global discussions about body image and authenticity.
This is me. Remember me with the big hair and the black eyes and the glitter all over the place? That's me.
Her story isn't just about Hollywood glamour. It's about the reality behind it. Anderson's decision to embrace her natural appearance challenges the entertainment industry's obsession with youth and perfection.